Hey, hey, everybody. You are now live. You are now live. We are now live, I should say. We're in here, y'all. We're in here. So, I'm just going to chit chat just for like maybe a minute or two, just to give people some time to jump on because I know that it's sending out reminders to people that I'm live. Um, Let me check my other device here to make sure that you guys can hear me. My day was really slow, really, really slow today at work, and that makes the time just go tick tick. You watching the clock almost, and it was a little crazy. I even went to lunch earlier than I normally do because it was so slow. I was sleepy. I was tired. So I gotta, I'm real good at using the bucket seats and put it back, and take a nap. I don't care what it is, 15 minutes, whatever. But I'll take a nap in a heartbeat. There we go. So yes, you guys can hear me in the Facebook group. I'm glad about that. Hey Sarah, thank you for watching live. I was just checking to I'm gonna leave that right here. Checking to make sure that you guys can hear me. And I know it has a sound check on the platform that I use, which is StreamYard, which let you know that if you give StreamYard permission to share your comments with me, the only thing that it's going to do is just let me stay focused on this screen and not have to keep looking down at another screen. It's not going to spam you. It's not going to try to make you buy anything. It's just so that I can focus on one screen instead of two. That's the only reason why it asks for why I put on there to and asking for permission to let StreamYard show your comments. Plus, I can post your comments on the screen. Whether yeah, but I can post your comments on the screen. And so today is day one of da, 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 day one of the 5-day single mom co-parenting challenge. I just realized my hands are a little ashy and look super like white because they're ashy, but it's all good. But anyway, it's the day one of the single moms co-parenting challenge. I want to thank you guys for watching live and coming on live, whether you are in the single moms club private Facebook group or you are on the YouTube channel for single moms level up. Yes, it's being broadcast in two different locations, but the only way that you can be qualified to win the giveaway is you must be a member of the Single Moms Club. If you want to be a member of the Single Moms Club, just search it on Facebook groups, and it's the Single Moms Club. The, however you say it, Single Moms Club, and you can search it. There are three questions that are there. Um, there are three questions that are there that I would like for you to answer honestly. They're there so that we can serve you better as single moms in this group with the content and the resources and the things that we do in this group to support, help, and um, to help us out and encourage you. So that's what those are for. Hey Kelly, thank you for watching live. I appreciate it. Oh, hey, Christine. Thank you also for coming on live and watching. You guys are coming in. I guess I'll go ahead and get started. Again, this is day one of the Single Moms Co-Parenting Challenge. So today we are going to talk about this here. The subject for today is going to be how do you feel? And yes, I put 3 dots behind that because it's kind of sort of a two-part thing. So, what I wanted to know is first off, how do you feel, single mom? How do you feel about co-parenting? Does it stress you out? Is it frustrating? Is it good? Is it all good? And you've got it all worked out with with the with your kid's dad. I know the advertisement said baby daddy, but That's not really the appropriate thing to say, because he really is, more than just a baby daddy, hopefully. He really is more than a sperm donor, hopefully. Hey Yenny, thank you for watching live. I appreciate you coming on. But there's a possibility that he is a baby daddy. Okay, so all in all, there's a possibility of that, and he could go from a baby daddy to actually being someone that helps and encourages and financially and takes the kids and lets you have some time. He could be one of those people, or change into one of those people, or already be somebody like that. So I want to know how you're feeling, single moms. I know when I started my journey as a single mom and me and the kid's dad were no longer together anymore, it was rough. It was really rough. And things, communication was not the best between us. It really wasn't. Communication wasn't the best. I think we were both stuck in our feelings. And that's not good. It's not good for both of us to be stuck in our feelings because it's nothing but a bunch of arguments. I kept trying to make sure he felt included, and so I kept reaching out to him, to help me, help me make decisions. And I kept reaching out to him to help me make decisions, and it always came down to, well, do this, do that, do this, do that. And so he would tell me what to do, or tell me these things to do. But then when it came down to it, the things he was telling me to do never worked out, and I ended up having to figure it out on my own. But that's after I wasted time doing the things that he suggested to do. So I was really frustrated in the beginning. And then as the time went by, and the kids got older, I realized, hey, he doesn't know what he's doing either. You know, I had my son. My son is now about to be 21, 22. I had to think about it, which is why I was kind of stopping there. But here's what one of the single moms in the group, Yini, said. She said, "My single mom journey has been rough, but God is my provider. Co-parenting is not something we are doing." Yeah, I understand, Yini, because co-parent wasn't something that we were doing very well. So basically, we weren't doing it. If you're not doing it well, you're not doing it. But we weren't doing it very well at all, at the time, and it was more of it didn't become more real for us to co-parent until I moved out of state. I moved halfway across the country with the kids. Uh, we had I had to. I'm just going to tell the truth. I had to do child support, file child support, with him, because he seemed to be, and I don't know what was going on because communication was horrible, and he seemed to be playing with the money. So for at least 2 months, I was not receiving child support. I was depending on that child support because at the time I was laid off from my job due to the housing market crash in 2007. So I was laid off from my job, and so I was trying to find another job, but of course all my experience was in the housing industry. So I'm obviously not going to find a housing industry job. So I was trying to find anything, and I mean anything. I've got a degree in interior design, and I've got okay. I've got a degree, and I've got over 20 years of experience. At the time, I think it was less than 20, obviously, because it was, back about 20 years ago. So actually, I got more than 20 years experience. I've been saying 20 years experience, but my son's 22, and I had experience before that, at least another 5 years. Wow. I haven't counted that in a while. But anyway, so apparently I had, over 2 decades of experience in interior design. Um, but at the time I had maybe five, almost 10 years of experience. And so I was even trying to go to Carl's Jr. I went to, which is a fast food restaurant. But I was trying to go to some fast food restaurants to try to get a job. I was trying to get a job anywhere, doing, whatever, just to get a paycheck. And I just, as soon as they saw, and I see them read, they would read this is back when they did paper, applications. And so I see them going through the application to ask me questions. And, I know, I know. I I'm gonna I see them going through the paperwork, and as soon as they get to the education, they see that I have a bachelor's degree in interior design and that I graduated cum laude. It's like, they really kind of breeze through the rest of it, and then I get, okay, we'll call you, which means no. The majority of the time it was no. So I ended up having to go to I even tried going back to an agency because I had worked for an employment agency for a while, and all the jobs were in the downtown area, and that was too far because I couldn't get back in time to pick up my son from daycare. So it was hard. It was very hard to pick up my son from daycare, my daughter from daycare. My son from school and my daughter from daycare. I didn't have enough time to do all that, so it was rough. It was very rough. So I want to mention the rules because I'm about to share something that somebody's sharing in the comments, and to let you know that everything that's said in the group needs to stay in the group. Don't take it outside of the group. Um, no promotion, no spamming of any kind. This is supposed to be a safe place, and I'm saying this before I put this comment out there because I want her to feel safe in this group. She's reaching out and she's taking an opportunity to share this with us. So this is Yenny, and she said she's afraid of filing child support because she's afraid of that the lawyer makes. Oh, afraid the lawyer will make the baby spend time with his dad, which he is not comfortable with because he has been growing with me. Hmm? Okay, I'm gonna try to figure out what you mean by that. But well, yeah, okay, I think I get what you're saying because he's been with you and he's been growing and everything, and you're afraid to do that. It is scary. It is scary, Yanni. I think I know what you're saying. But it is scary, and I understand that because that's where I was getting to was that when I moved halfway across the country, then I came to the understanding that first off, the kids are not just my kids. They're not my kids. They are our kids. We both made the children. And mind you, if there is a situation where there's abuse towards you or the children or one or the other, don't do this. Don't do this. Don't get a court order, get it where there's supervised visits by the court or something of that sort. Do not do this on your own. But this was on my own. It did get a little physical in our relationship towards the end, but I believe it was mostly towards me, some towards my son. But um but he's more I realized that he was more afraid of of somebody saying he couldn't do something when he should know how to do it, which is raise his kids, um, than he was of trying to hurt them. So I gave him an opportunity to take the kids for the summer. So okay. I'm sorry. Some of my friends on the West Coast are texting me right now, and they're asking me questions, but I can't answer them right now. But anyway, but yeah, so I let the kid's dad take my kids, for the summer. He's a long haul truck driver, so he comes through Texas or can ask for a load that comes through Texas in the Houston area, and he can pick up the kids because we can meet up, and I can go, I can give him the kids, and he can take them back to California with him. So he did do that. He actually did do that. I offered, and I had told him the whole time when we were not together. I said, whatever you do, Do not take out what we got, what we don't have going on, and how we feel about each other or how you feel about me. Don't take it out on the kids. Spend time with them. They need to they need to talk to you. They need to know you. They need to be around you. I'm not trying to take your kids from you. I'm just moving because that's where I need to do. I felt that's what I need to do. Um, I felt led by God to move to Houston, and it has been the best thing ever for me to do, because I have more opportunities out here, and even an opportunity to own my own house. So, which I couldn't do in California because of the prices. And so, anyway, it was hard. That first year, I tell you, I think for 2 weeks I must have cried every night, because I'm so used to my children being with me. It was heart wrenching, and also to know that they were halfway across the country. So if something did happen at the time, I didn't have the money to go out there and do anything. I didn't have money to get there. So that was the scary thing. But for our safety at the time, it turns out that our safety at the time, because he admitted that he would have harassed me if I stayed in California, and he admitted to that, to the point that I wouldn't have been able to have a relationship with another man. I wouldn't have been. It would have been horrible. It would have been tormenting. But moving far away from him seemed to have given him uh, a sense of a right mind, and so it helped. So what we have to do as being single moms is, hey Kanisha, thank you for joining live. So what we have to do, single moms, in our co-parenting is, first off, acknowledge how you feel about the kid's dad. Acknowledge it and address it. Find out why you feel that way. Um, and it may be something that has nothing to do with you, just something that they did to you, but realize that it's not your fault. Realize that you can get through this. Realize that you do need to address it, because even though you may not say words against or about the kid's dad, they feel it. Our kids feel everything we feel, they feel. And they're watching us. They're watching to see what we do. They're watching to hear what we say. So even if the kids are not in the same room as you, something that I learned when I filed child support was that even if they're not in the same room, if they're in the same house, they're considered within earshot, which means they can hear you. You don't know if they're coming up to your door and your door is closed and you're talking to your girlfriend, talking all kinds of smack about the kid's dad and this, that, whatever, and giving details to your girlfriend, because it's your girl, your friend, and she's letting you vent. You need to actually not do that in the house. Do that somewhere outside the house, go to your friend's house or go to a restaurant and talk, or whatever, or park, whatever, but make it to where the kids are nowhere around. Because one thing that you don't want is for the kids to develop um, a feeling in a way about their dad because of things you said that they will not understand, because they're children. And children are going to take that to take it in a wrong way, and take it to the worst part of that way. And we can't control it once it comes out of our mouth. It's something that I learned from my mom. My mom never talked bad about my dad. Regardless of the fact that I know there was something that went on, she never confessed what it was. She never told me or my sister exactly what it was. My sister may have known, because my sister actually lived in the house with my mom and dad um, up until she was about 7.5, 8 years old. And then my mom and dad got divorced. And then after they divorced, and a year after they divorced, my mom got pregnant with me. So I never lived in the same house with my dad, never had that experience of having two parents in the house. It was just one, my mom. So I was raised by a single mom. She did the absolute best she could, and she never talked bad about my dad. The only thing she would say is she would just say, "Oh, well, that's your dad," and leave it at that. That's your dad. She let me figure it out and see what was going on for myself. And I did, and I don't know that she totally knew how to explain it either. I don't know if she really knew about it. I didn't bring it up because it was a sore subject with her. I didn't understand why it was a sore subject with her, but what it was is that she was still in love with him. She still had he still had a place in her heart, but he moved on and married his second wife, his third wife, his fourth wife, his fourth wife, and that just hurt her even more, for these women to for him to marry these other women, but yet and still, um she had love for him. She had love for him, and she did date some, but she had love for my dad. And I have a feeling now that that's why she never got married again. She did date, but she never got married again. And I'm not sure what that was all about because, like I said, it was a sensitive, sore subject with her. She didn't want to talk about it, so I left it alone. If mom doesn't want to talk about it, she don't want to talk about it. So the things that we want to do is make a plan, and one part of the plan and part of the beginning of making that plan is we need to address our feelings about how we feel about the kid's dad. And then the way that I'm going to suggest to do that is to get a journal, or a piece of paper. Your piece of paper, you can make one. You can make one, or you can make a journal, or you can buy one. But this is your homework for tonight. Um, and by tomorrow night, have something done in this. And I say to do this is what I'm going to give you as a homework assignment. So draw a line down the center of the paper. And actually, I just realized I have some slides up for that. So I have some slides for that. So I'm going to screen share and show you how I do this. So I learned this way of journaling through a singles class, and it was a passion and purity class at my church, that I was at the time. And I learned this way of journaling. This is not my invention, but it is one of the best ways that I've found journaling, and the best way for you to see the change happening, and for me to stay focused. Anytime that I'm in my life and I see that I'm not focused, and everything is just gone haywire, and I'm like, what is going on? Why am I not focused now? What's happening here? I'll go back to my journal and I'll realize I have stopped journaling. I'll realize I have to stop journaling. So then I go back to my journaling, and I get back on track. So I'm going to show you this. Here's the slideshow. That was the giveaway, and I'll talk about that too towards the end. But I just remembered that I had this example in here. I'm going to make it bigger so that you could see it. There we go. So draw a line down the middle of the paper. On one side, write goals. On the other side, write course of action. Probably courses of actions. The first one is personal. So that's where we are right now. Personally, how do you feel? You want to address how you feel. This is a goal of how you want to feel or how you will feel. So your goal on how you want to feel about co-parenting is I will, and however it is that you want to feel. And then write down below it, that right here, write down the benefits. And you can have either one benefit, two benefits, three benefits, more than that, however many it is, but at least one. And then write down on the other side of the paper the courses of action that you're going to do to reach this goal. Mind you, everything starts with an I will statement. The reason it starts with an I will statement is because studies show that when you say I will do this, your mind, it puts it in your mind that you're supposed to do something. Your mind then starts to remind you that you're supposed to do something. You may or may not remember what it is. So that's all good, which is why we write it down on a piece of paper or in a journal. I have this, this is my journal. And so I write things down in my journal, and I have this, going on in my journal as well. Um, with the line down the middle of the paper, you know, I will statements, I have all that there, my course of action, I have that in my journal. And this is how I start out all my journals. I started out with this personal portion of it. So write these down, what your goals will be. Um, Now you're like, how do I figure out what my goals are when, you haven't probably figured out, oh, I didn't mean to go there. How do I get back to that? There we go. Okay, so how do I figure out what my goals are if I haven't addressed my feelings? So do this first. This is where you're going to end up. And then first do this. Do the same thing. Get a piece of paper, mark a line down the middle. Um, Put it across. On the left side, put how you feel about your kid's dad, and write down all the feelings that you have about the kid's dad and co-parenting with him. And then on the right side, write down all the things that you like about yourself. All the things you like about yourself on the right side. That this is what you want to do. Write that down, all the things that you think about yourself on the right side. And then when at the end of writing those things, you want to um, compare the two sides to each other. Does what you like about yourself match how you feel about the kid's dad? Does it match? Is that how you want your kids to see you, or how you want people, or how you want to feel about him? Mind you, all of this has to do with how you feel and how you are. If those don't match, then there's some work that we need to do. There's some work we need to do. And it's okay that we need to work on some things. It's okay. We've been through something. We're no longer with the kid's dad, either a divorce, um, you know, uh, God forbid that you're a widow, or they passed away, or you just were boyfriend and girlfriend, you're no longer together. However, you became a single mom. It is okay that we need to do some work to be better single moms and to be better for ourselves and better for our children. These things that we need, that we're going to do through this co-parenting journey, is going to help us in every area of our lives. That's what Single Moms Level Up is all about. Going from just struggling to CEO in every area of our lives through self-care, self-love, and self-education. We're talking about the self-care part. The self-care is a mental thing. It's what's in your mind, what comes out your mouth. What's in your mind, what comes out of your mouth, and what's in your heart. That's the inner self-love part, and we need to get those to line up. If your mind's going one direction, stuff is coming out your mouth, and what's in your heart is really what's coming out your mouth. And so we may need to, we may need to do some heart. Hey Michelle, thank you for watching live. We may need to do um, some inner healing, healing, and help, or work through the things and the feelings that we have towards the kid's dad. We need to realize that they're people too. We need to realize that they have some things, some hurts, habits, and hangups that society doesn't allow them to address. We as women have an opportunity, and it's open for us to address those things and to have feelings and to feel certain ways. The only thing that they can feel and that they're allowed to show is anger. And a lot of them have anger because they don't know how to deal with their feelings. feelings of not feeling, like they're doing enough, feeling, like they're bad dads, feeling that, hey, I shouldn't have done this, or hey, I shouldn't have had kids out of wedlock, hey, I should be doing more, feeling guilt. All of that stuff piles up in them. They don't talk about it, definitely not to each other. And if they do, they're doing the macho thing, and talking about it. So it's not in a a healing way. It's in a destructive way. So we do have to consider that, that's going on with them too, and that they love their kids. The majority of them. I'm not gonna say all, but the majority of them love their kids. So we want to do this personal part of it. That's where we're gonna get to, um, after we do the first initial part of it. So the first initial part we're doing is writing on a piece of paper or in our journal, and we're writing, putting a line down the middle of the paper. On the left side of the paper, we're putting how we feel about the kid's dad, and then on the right side, we're putting how 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 we feel about ourselves, how we feel about ourselves, and how are we. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, what I will do is I will post a self-assessment paper that I kind of copied from a class that I was facilitating for the youth at my church. And but it helps. I was like, man, some adults, we need this. I needed it, to actually pinpoint, how, the things that I see myself, how I see myself, and to put words to it. So I'm gone slightly over, you guys, and I apologize for that, but I've gone slightly over. I will talk about what is in. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I will talk about what is in the single moms queen kit tomorrow, because it's 8:32 and I don't want to keep you guys late, because I know you got your kids and it's the weeknight. Even though school is probably out, but still you got to get up and go to work, probably got to get the kids to daycare or camp or wherever they are. And that's a notion. You know what I'm saying? That's a notion. Oh, thank you, Kanisha. Thank you, Kanisha. Yeah, these are things that I'm glad you guys are really feeling this. Kanisha says, that it's okay that I'm going over, that this is really good information. Um, it's something I had to learn, and something that I had, this is how I figured that out. Not figured it out. Well, yeah, how the revelation came to me was through my journaling, and realizing that he's a man. He's a man and he's a person, and that he has some feelings as well. I'm telling you, journaling in this way that I'm going to show you this throughout this week, um, if in specifically in regards to this, um, will help a lot. It'll help a lot. So, oh, you're welcome, Yenny. Yenny says, thank you, that she's going to start journaling tomorrow. How I started journaling, truthfully, like, again, I used to do it in high school and junior high, but hadn't done it for a while. And so how I started was I used that lined paper. You know how every year they have us buy, so many packets of lined paper and tissue, Kleenex and markers and pencils and all that stuff. Well, I started finding that I had a stack about this big of packages of paper. So I started journaling using that lined paper that I'd been buying for the kids year after year, and they don't end up using it all. So I used that and started journaling that way, and then eventually got back to um to a book. You know, my mom used to give me and my sister hardbound journals um, when we were like in our 20s. And I realized that I like those better. And inexpensive way to find a good journal, because this has only got like 65 pages. But when you take the kids back to school and you do their school shopping for all their supplies, um, look for the journals. This is at Walmart. Look for, there's journals there, like hardbound journals that are bigger than this. They're usually a little bigger than this, and they're about 300 and something pages in it. So that's enough for a whole entire year worth of journaling. Um, and I like those because they last longer and I don't have to keep switching journals. Because what I do is every time I switch a journal, I go through and I do my list and my goals and my actions and all the 5 areas, the 5 building blocks of my life. I label them out and put my goals, my benefits, and my courses of action. So this is day 1, y'all. We done made it through. We made it through. I'm glad you guys enjoyed this. Start your journaling tonight or tomorrow morning or tomorrow, and do that exercise and write on one side of the paper all the things and the feelings that you have towards the kid's dad, and then on the right side of the paper write down who you are and how you would describe yourself, and see if they match. If they don't match, we have work to do, and it's okay that we have work to do, because we're gonna address it now. We're gonna start addressing it now through our journaling and make goals to do better and to be better, and to allow the kid's dad to see their children, to see their children. One last thing, and I'm going to let you go. In the mediation between me and my kid's dad, I found out that even if the kid's dad saw the kids every single weekend for an entire year, they would have only have spent 14% of the time with the kids. I was flabbergasted, because I thought that him seeing them every single weekend would make up for the fact that the kids stay with me. It doesn't. It doesn't. It barely scratches the surface. So I came to a realization that I need to allow him to see them more, which is why I came up with, hey, if you want to take the kids for the summer, you can. I said it. Didn't think he'd take me up on it, but he did. And then I had to follow through. I had to follow through. It was extremely hard. I was trying not to cry, when I let them leave. But when I drove away, I lost my stuff. I'm crying all the way home. I was crying off and on for about a week or two. And then I got myself together and was like, what am I crying for? I have time to myself that I haven't had in years. Let me take care of me. So that's what I did. I started taking care of myself. It was still hard, but I started taking better care of myself. So anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow is day 2, and do your homework. If you go live in the group and give your takeaways, your biggest takeaways. This is what helps us come together as a community. You might have a takeaway that somebody hadn't thought about it that way, and we all help each other by sharing, just as Yenny and Kanisha have here in the live. So I appreciate you guys for watching live, either in the Single Moms Club or on the YouTube channel of, I like to call it #Single Moms Level Up. Thank you for watching live. Thank you for watching the replays. And by all means, if you know a single mom that would probably benefit from this and benefit from this and probably needs to be a part of this, invite them. Especially if you're in the Single Moms Club, invite them on YouTube. Just share the video with them, and we could all do this together. We could all level up together. Let's go from just struggling to CEO through self-care, self-love, and self-education. Let's do this, single moms. We can level up. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Much love. Bye. #Single Moms Level Up. Bye. It was great and fun having you guys here tonight, in the morning, whatever time it is, because this is an international club that's open to quite a few different nations and countries all over the world. Much love. See you tomorrow, day 2.